Hello students, I am here to represent another online classes in Rishikul Vidyapit. So dear students, today's topic is the very important one, and in this topic you will have to practice a lot because this topic modifies, or you can say will be used in each and every unit, dimensional analysis. So dear students, today's topic is dimensional analysis, the very important one. So dear student, we have studied about physical quantities, physical unit, SI unit, system of unit, lot of things. But now the important one, dimensional analysis. You know, we have some fundamental quantities, basic quantities like length, mass, time. These are the basic quantities. In dimensional analysis, length is written in L, capital L, and mass M. Similarly, time T. In 11th class especially, we will use length L, mass M, time T. But I tell you for every fundamental quantities. For electric current, represented by capital A, temperature, capital K, luminous intensity, CD, amount of substance, that is written in this form, mole. So, but basically in 11th class we will use M, L and T. Do you know, for every length, whether it is radius, distance, displacement, written in the form of L, for mass capital M, and for time T. Now we will study about dimensional analysis. Always remember, for length L, mass capital M, time capital T, temperature capital K, electric current A, luminous intensity CD, and amount of substance mole. So student, always remember. Now I am going to start dimensional analysis. First of all, you should know about the dimensions. What are the dimensions? The very important term. What are the dimensions? D, 3D, 2D, 1D. You know, dimensions. So dimensions are the powers. Dimensions are the powers or exponent to which the unit of the base of unit is raised to represent a derived physical quantity. So dear students, as you know, the dimensions of length is L. Now I talk about volume. Do you know what is the formula volume? That is length into length into length, and that is equal to L cube. So here we will write, especially I have told you earlier, in the form of M, L and T. Here mass 0 because mass has no value for volume. L 3, T 0. This is the dimension. Dimensions is 3. Dimensions are the power. Means volume will be in 3D, 3 dimensions. So powers or exponent, new physical quantity, because length is the fundamental quantity, and here you can say this is the another derived physical quantity, that is volume, and we have increased the power of the base quantity. Here 1, here 3. So these are the dimensions. Dimensions are the power or exponent. Now, dimensional formula. Dimensional formula. What is dimensional formula? How this expression shows how and which the base of a physical quantity represent a new physical quantity. Represent, this expression represent how and which the base of a physical quantity expresses. How and which the base of a physical quantity represent another physical quantity. Another physical quantity. Like, if we talk about speed, velocity. Do you know about velocity? Velocity is displacement upon time. Displacement upon time. Here, what is displacement? For displacement, what is? Distance. For displacement, length. And for length, capital L. For displacement, capital L is used. And for time, that is T. So, this can be written in the form of LT minus 1, or you can say M0, because in 11th class especially we will write in the form of ML and T. No value of M. Then power of M is written 0, L, 1, T minus 1, and this is the dimensional formula of velocity, because this expression shows how and which the base of physical quantity represent new physical quantity. Definitely, because we have changed the power of T, that is minus 1. Then this basic, because M is the base of mass, L is length, and T for time, and this represents the dimensional formula. And another one, dimensional equation. Dimensional equation. Dear students, you should know about the dimensional equation. Simply, when this is the formula, this is dimensional formula, these are the dimensions. When dimensional formula is equated with physical quantity, when dimensional formula is equated with physical quantity, is called dimensional equation. Is called dimensional equation. Like here, V is equal to M0 L1 T minus 1. This is dimensional equation. So dear students, when dimensional formula is equated with physical quantity, so these three terms are very important. What are the dimensions? Power or exponent. Dimensional formula, how and which base of physical quantity represent the new unit. And dimensional equation, when dimensional formula is equated with physical quantity, that is called as dimensional equation. Now we will derive the dimensional formula of different quantities. Dear students, one thing I tell you, for this you will have, for this topic, dimensional analysis, at least for 1 week you will have to practice daily lot of questions, and you can get question from anywhere. And first work you will learn from your NCERT book, the link that I have sent to you on Campus Care, on broadcast group. Then on that link you will have to remember at least first 50 dimensional formulae. That is very important, and daily you will practice a lot. Now I will going to understand you, teach you about the dimensional formula. How will you learn it? Dimensional formula. So dear students, dimensional formula, how will you learn this? Simply, for length L, mass M, time T. These three are very, very important. And first of all, I'm going to tell you about area. You know about area. What is the formula of area? Length into breadth. Length into breadth means meter square. And you know what meter is? The SI unit of length. For meter L, kilogram, gram M, time R, minute T. Then here you can write L square. For meter L, length L, breadth L becomes L square, and the complete form you can write M0 L2 T0. This is the dimensional formula of area. Next, volume. And always remember, area, whether it is rectangle, whether it is square, whether it is circle, the dimensional formula of each and every area is n square, L2, M0, L2, T0. Next one, volume. Dear students, volume, 2D or 3D? 3D means length into length means L cube, or you can say M0 L cube T0. This is the dimensional formula of volume. Always remember, area L square, volume L cube. Now, the very important quantities. You know, first thing is that there is no effect of vector. And for constant, very important thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the constant. Pi is also constant. For the constant terms, there is no dimensional formula. Remember, there is no dimensional formula for constant quantities. Now, speed, also velocity, because both have, speed is distance upon time, scalar quantity, velocity, displacement upon time, vector quantity. You can say, yeah, distance or displacement. Distance or displacement upon time. Displacement or distance upon time. Right? Because no need to write distance or displacement, because both have same dimensional formula. Dimension does not depend on vector quantity. Displacement L, time T. So dear students, the formula is LT minus 1, and a full form you can write M0 L1 T minus 1. This is the dimensional formula for velocity. Always remember, velocity displacement upon time, velocity, displacement upon time. You will have to remember it. You will have to remember it. Next, from speed velocity, the another formula, acceleration. This is a very important one. Acceleration, accelerate करते हैं. How will you accelerate? If I am going with a speed, with a velocity, suddenly I accelerate, I increase, I change the speed, I change the velocity. That is acceleration. Means velocity upon time. Then dear student, you know about the formula of velocity. Velocity, formula of velocity is Lt minus 1. Always remember, upon t, then it becomes Lt minus 2, full form m0 L1 t minus 2. And for your convenience, I tell you, you will always remember the formula of acceleration. Lt minus 2, Lt minus 2. Even in sleeping, you should know the formula of acceleration, Lt minus 2. I will ask you again and again, what is the dimensional formula of acceleration? Lt minus 2. Always, because this formula is very important and lot of quantities in class 11th. You will use the formula of acceleration in any quantities. Next, with the acceleration, you know, force. In 9th class, we have studied about a physical quantity, force. Second law of Newton. What is mass into acceleration? Then force is equal to mass into acceleration. Then dear students, for mass you will use m, definitely, and acceleration always remember, no need to just drive again and again. Acceleration, what is acceleration? Lt minus 2. Then you will write Lt minus 2, and this is the very famous formula. Force, mass into acceleration. The formula of force is m1 Lt minus 2. If you remember, अगर आप याद रखते हो acceleration का formula, what is the formula of acceleration? Lt minus 2. And the formula of force, mass into acceleration. Here you use mass into acceleration, and with the help of force, next I apply force, change in displacement, that is work. The formula of work also you have studied earlier. Also in 11th class, these all terms you will study deeply. Work, force into displacement. It's very simple. Force, already know. Second law, Newton's second law, mass into acceleration, and displacement. Displacement, again I tell you, mass, capital M. Again acceleration. What is the formula of acceleration? Lt minus 2. Lt minus 2. And displacement, L, that is m L2 t minus 2. Because the one thing is very important, if you will not practice these formulas daily, at least 10, 15, 20, learn, you can't derive any application of dimensional analysis. Even you can't start a single step, because dimensional formula is essential. If dimensional formula is wrong, then question will be 100% wrong. It can't be correct. Right. Next, so you know, area L square, volume L cube, speed Lt minus 1, acceleration Lt minus 2. Again I ask you, acceleration Lt minus 2, force, mass into acceleration, work, force into displacement. And with the work is another very important quantity from the force, pressure. So one thing is very important, because work is stored in the form of energy, and energy is stored in the form of work done. So every type of energy has the same dimensional formula as of work. So dear students, always remember energy and work has same dimensional formula. Right? Now another term, pressure. What do you know by the pressure? The formula of pressure is force per unit area. इतने एरिया पे इतना force, that is pressure. सिंपल सी बात है. Force upon area. Dear students, एक चीज हमेशा ध्यान रखना फिजिक्स में. फिजिक्स सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग सब्जेक्ट है. एज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ द फिजिक्स, इट इज द ब्रांच ऑफ साइंस डील्स विद द स्टडी ऑफ नेचर एंड नेचुरल फिनोमिना. नेचुरल चीजें की बात करेंगे, समझना है. अगर आप फिजिक्स में अपनी समझ दिखाओगे, समझोगे, इसके कंसेप्ट, बेसिक कंसेप्ट को क्लियर करते जाओगे, डेफिनेटली आपको दुनिया में इससे अच्छा सब्जेक्ट लग नहीं सकता. दिस इज द वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग सब्जेक्ट रियली, एंड आई एम हैप्पी बिकॉज आई एम टीचिंग फिजिक्स. राइट? प्रेशर, फोर्स अपॉन एरिया. एंड डियर स्टूडेंट्स, अगेन सेम, व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला फोर्स? न्यूटन सेकंड लॉ ऑफ मोशन. फोर्स mass into acceleration upon area. ये acceleration है ना, ये जाने वाला नहीं है, ये तो रहेगा. Then mass m, acceleration lt minus 2, area l square. Right? Here l power 1, here l power 2, minus 2, 1 minus 2, minus 1. Then m1 l minus 1 t minus 2. This is the dimensional formula of pressure. And dear students, always remember stress means वैसे तो हम सोचते हैं what is stress? Stress है, but in properties of bulk matter, stress is like a pressure, and then the same formula of that is of stress, and the pressure and stress have same formula. That is m1 l minus 1 t minus 2. Right? Now torque, simply torque force into perpendicular distance, and also the torque has same formula, that of work, energy and torque. Force into perpendicular distance, rotational force, rotational motion. Right? So these are the quantities you will have to remember. Pressure, stress have same formula. Energy, volume, the very important term, linear momentum. P, linear momentum, P denoted by P, mass into velocity. Dear students, these quantities are very important, and another formula you can derive most of with the help of these quantities. Mass into velocity. For mass m, for velocity lt minus 1, and dimensional formula m1 l1 t minus 1. For linear momentum, what is the dimensional formula of linear momentum? P is equal to mv, mass into velocity. For mass m, for velocity lt minus 1. This is the another important formula of linear momentum. Next, strain. Always remember strain, change in dimension upon original dimension. You will study in properties of bulk matter, or sorry, bulk properties of matter. Strain is dimensionless, means it has no dimension. Strain has no dimension. Stress is the dimension of pressure. Trigonometric function. बड़ी विडंबना. Trigonometric function तो very important term है, but it has no dimension. This is also dimensionless. This is also the drawback of dimensional analysis. Dimensionless. Angle. Any angle has no dimensions. It is also dimensionless. No dimension. or you can say dimensionless. The main quantities, dimensionless, angle, right, linear momentum, and frequency 1 upon t means t minus 1, and in full form you will write m0 l1 t minus 1 l0. The dimensional formula of frequency is m0 l0 t1. Very important term. What is the dimensional formula of area? L square, volume L cube, speed velocity, displacement upon time, displacement L time t minus 1, acceleration. I again ask you the dimensional formula of acceleration Lt minus 2, force mass into acceleration mlt minus 2, work force into displacement work energy and torque have same dimensional formula. Pressure stress, the formula of pressure is force upon area, and you will have to remember what is the formula of force, mass into acceleration, mass acceleration, right? Linear momentum P is equal to mv, strain, dimensionless, trigonometric function, no dimension, angle, no dimension, frequency 1 upon t. Most of the formula I am teaching you and you will get very soon. Definitely daily practice and another formula. Should I rough it? Yes. Angular velocity, distance, angular velocity, angle upon time, angular displacement हम एंगल को कहते हैं. What is angular displacement? Angle traced by this factor is called angular displacement. And then angular velocity, angle upon time. Then dimensional formula of angular velocity is angle dimensionless, no dimension, 1 by t, and you can say t minus 1 m0 l0 t minus 1. Then dimensional formula of angular velocity is just t minus 1, that of frequency. Then frequency and angular velocity, sometimes we use angular frequency and angular velocity, that is denoted by omega as the terms of angular frequency, because frequency is same dimensional formula. Angular acceleration, not linear acceleration, गड़बड़ हो जाएगी अगर आप angular acceleration का comparison linear acceleration से करो. Then angular acceleration, angular acceleration, you know very well. Angular displacement upon time, angular velocity upon time, angular acceleration, that is angular velocity upon time. Angular velocity, you know, t minus 1 upon t, that is t minus 2, or you can say m0 l0 t minus 2. This is the dimensional formula of angular acceleration. All type of energy have same dimensional formula. Trigonometric function have no formula. And definitely these are the main basics formula, and in NCERT book you will have to learn at least 50 dimensional formula. And another very important formula I am going to tell you, that is universal gravitational constant. Universal gravitational constant, you can say capital G, the very important. Most of the time this is the very important, any competitive exam also, this formula for any derivation is very useful. First of you should know about the formula of universal gravitational constant. The Newton's law of gravitation, F is equal to G m upon r square. Here G is the universal gravitational constant, and we will find out the value of universal gravitational constant, that is Fr square, with the help of cross multiplication, and mm means m square becomes behind this. The formula again, dear students, formula of force, mass into acceleration, m, so capital M, L t minus 2, again for r L square, for mass m square, upper this power is 1 and this power is 2 and this power becomes m minus 1, L cube t minus 2. So dear student, this is a very important formula for exam point of view and competitive exams, universal gravitational constant. And one thing in the last, I tell you, you will have to practice very hard regularly, at least 50 dimensional formula you will learn definitely, then you can continue the unit. Otherwise you can't solve the single question if you don't have remember any dimensional formula. Thanks.